Hey everybody, welcome to another podcast. I'm Curie Wave.
Line Dark RPG.
And I'm Susan Lucaria fan.
And we're doing a podcast on Pokemon X and Y.
So here's pretty much how we're... sorry.
No, sorry, I was trying to clear my throat.
Okay, so pretty much how it's gonna work, guys, is each of us are gonna give our opinions. Since all three of us own either X or Y, or both. We're gonna give our opinion on the game, how we played the game so far, and then once we're done talking about our game experience, we'll talk about the certain features that are in X and Y, and we'll probably talk about how they have improved how the Pokemon game has improved over the years. So, who wants to get started? Who's going to be the first one to talk?
Okay, I guess we'll start with... Let's start with story. Let's talk about the story of the game and give their thoughts on it first.
Okay. Who's going to talk about it first?
I think Light should. He knows probably a lot more about the story than the rest of the two of us.
Well, the story of the game is a rather different take on it. I mean, now instead of having, like one rival or two, we now have 4 complete rivals. 2 that have starters, and 2 others that are kind of random. One likes to talk about Pokemon moves like it's a dance, and the other one's very studious. Kind of cliched, but it works out for the best.
And what about the other 2 rivals?
Shauna and... I'm not the best when it comes to the name, so excuse me if I mess this up.
Serena?
Yeah, thank you. Well, Serena, really, I think the dialogue, it's kind of an open-minded character because, it depends whether you pick the male or female, really, but no personality whatsoever. Just there to be your rival. While Shauna's, apparently, she's good with puzzles, although I wonder how that makes any sense by finding an item that's on the ground when you can use a dowsing machine, or just walk around for a long time and just hope to find something.
Because Shauna says, screw that.
Yeah. More into the story, basically it's the same old cliche. Your mother now apparently is like a famous, used to be a celebrity, a ride-on racer. And I guess the question is, when was that ever talked about? That would have been an interesting minigame.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't cover that.
Well, I guess it was a good way of introducing that you could ride on Pokemon.
True.
Although having it as a better feature instead of in order to navigate certain terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After you go through the basic introduction phase and, learn how to catch your Pokemon, yada yada yada, you go to Lumio City, and yeah, this is where one of the several problems with the game came in with Lumio City. A lot of the area was blocked off, and when you were on the roller skates, the camera doesn't make it easy to navigate.
No, it doesn't.
But once you get to the lab, you face Professor Sycamore or Professor Platana if you're in any other region.
And what does he do?
After you beat him, he has the 3 Kanto starters. You pick a Kanto starter, and he gets Megastone. It'll be your first one unless you got the Torchic event, which will last through January. So don't worry, guys. If you get it during Christmas, you will be clear for the Torchic, because it'll last till January 4th, I think.
But don't worry if you can't. There's always Pokegen.
Oh dear. Yeah, way to give hackers information there, dude.
They've been doing this already. Look at their leaks, but that's not the point.
Well, then, afterwards you meet Lysander, which apparently is the Team Flare boss. And
Dude, spoilers!
Yeah, I think the longest transition, and Lysander, he has an interesting backstory about him. It's just the execution of the character was flawed.
How so?
You have to face the guy like 3 times in consecutive order. I mean, it would have been better if you spaced it out. I mean, you faced Giovanni 3 times, and that was spaced out. Compared to Giovanni, I think Lysander's a weaker character in comparison. I mean, I think it's sort of a throwback. You face the guy 3 times, and then you face his Mega Evolution Gyarados, but it's kind of a weak character, to be honest. The motivation is he wants to eradicate the entire population, cause complete genocide. And this goes back to a myth of a Pokemon trainer who was known as the King of Kalos at the time, called AZ, who you meet as a monstrous character. Which, if you go to game exchange, I think they say, like with the Dex introduction, I'm gonna try to keep this very, very PC, because I do not want to cause religious controversy, but apparently it involves the myth of the Wandering Jew. And I'm not going to dig any deeper than that because, one, I'm a secular humanist, so I am not one to discuss this sort of matter. And two, you can always look up the myths in better detail somewhere on Google.
Yeah.
But basically, it follows the same premise. Curse, he did something bad, and now he's forced to wander for years. The guy's, like, over 3,000 years old, and I don't think you meet him, like, a few times. One in the electrical area to Power Lumio City, where you see him and he just walks away. Another time, you see him, like, imprisoned in the Team Flare Cafe. And then the final time is you face him after you defeat the Elite Four for the first time.
I call him just a bum.
Right. So, but after you defeat the game, you do have the chance to search for the Mega Stones. But story-wise, it's basically the same thing. You go on your journey, you face an evil team, you defeat the boss, and you defeat the Pokemon League.
Okay.
Basically the story in a nutshell.
Let's give our thoughts. Let's give our thoughts on the story. Susan?
Well, I found it interesting. They gave more, I think they gave most, like, they do a little more now with adding more rivals, doing a little more, personality with the parents, and, giving more of a good backstory. That's what I think. It's really good. I like it.
Alright, Light.
I already gave the entire exposition piece, so really, I think my opinion's already been stated in there.
Alright, I think the story was very, very disappointing. If anything, while it introduced a lot of different things, it also went back on a bunch of things as well. They had an opportunity to develop AZ, and they did not. They had a chance to develop Team Flare, but the only thing you'll probably remember about him is them as Lysander. Lysander is also yeah, like I said, Lysander's probably the only good thing about it. But then again, it's not saying much. But I'll save my random Team Flare for later when we talk about it. My point is, it introduced a lot of things, but the execution was piss poor. Once again, Gen 3 story, it isn't. In fact, I think it's probably a lot worse than Gen 3's story. Because in Gen 3, it was the least explained. Gen 6's story is just pathetic. And I'm not saying that to cause a controversy. Let's move on.
Okay, so what feature of the game do you guys want to talk about? Somebody pick one.
I guess we'll move into the gameplay section. Okay, let's start with the very first thing you get, Mega Evolution.
Okay. Who wants to talk about that first?
Well, I wouldn't say that'd be the first feature. I think it would be like the first story on the bottom screen.
Well, I don't know.
Mega Evolution's not really a feature as it is just a new mechanic.
Well, it is part of gameplay.
So, which one of you will talk about it?
First, since you got the most megas. You want to go first, Susan? Because you got the most megastones out of all of us.
Alrighty.
I think.
Well, I think I do. Okay, well, Mega Evolution is a new mechanic in the game, pretty much, where Pokemon get a new form, pretty much. But it's like it said, they get a whole new level of power and abilities, and they can turn back to normal after battle, which is good. But in order for this to proceed, you have to have a good strong bond with your Pokemon, and you have to have the Mega Ring and a certain Mega Stone for that certain Pokemon. After the game, you're able to find the Mega Stones, find more Mega Stones, but some of the Pokemon that do have Mega Stones, I feel like some of them should not have had Mega Stones. I.e., like Garchomp, because Garchomp or Tyranitar, those two Pokemon are already OP. They don't really need another level of power. At least that's what I think. I think they were smart with giving like Absol, Mawile, those kinds of Pokemon that don't have like really good stats and they don't evolve. That's what I think. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Who's the next?
So we're still talking about Mega Evolution?
Yeah.
You're up.
Well, Mega Evolution, well, as Susan already explained, it's another level. But I think I'm gonna be honest here and not talk about the mechanics because that was already brought up. But I do want to say that I think a lot of Digimon fans are finally, after almost a decade, are finally going to get the payback.
Yep.
Yeah, if you remember, if you were a kid in the 90s during the playground years, you would remember that anybody who liked Digimon, people would always say, "Oh, it's a rip-off of Pokemon." But now with the Mega Stone, the Mega Ring's like the Digivice. And now with the Mega Evolution, Mega Evolution. Oh dear.
Alright.
Wait.
Oh wait, do you have anything else to say? Okay, you have anything else to say? What?
I'm thinking that, I don't know, maybe there could be some more Pokemon updates about later Mega Stones, but we'll get to that when we talk about expansions.
Yes. Okay. Alright, Jesus Christ. Remember what I said? Remember when I gave my opinion on story? Yeah, that doesn't work with Mega Evolutions for me. Mega Evolutions is one of the dumbest concepts I've ever seen. First of all, it completely contradicts the definition of the word evolution. Evolution means advancing. By that logic, why don't we just de-evolve Blastoise into a Wartortle, if that's going to be the case? Because it completely contradicts evolution, for one. Second of all, the fact that it stoops so low to rip off of Digimon is just ridiculous. Third, the fact that it reverts back to battling, or it reverts back to its original form, and you have to activate it in battle, is complete horseshit. You know why? Pokemon like Charizard, if you have a Stealth Rock set up, it will lose half of its health, and if you plan on using it to go to Mega Charizard X, it'll be probably dead by that point. Because you have to activate it when you first summon it. What the f***? It's not like when they did it with Shaman or Giratina in the last two generations, where you could equip an item and it would automatically turn into that if you had it in your party, and then you could summon it. Don't give me that shit saying, oh, well, it would be too OP. What do you... Oh, and not putting it in... Oh, and using it in battling isn't? Give me a break. Not done, still. Okay.
But again, someone's kind of going on a bit of a tirade.
Okay, where was I? Oh, yes. Next point. Despite the fact that you have to switch it out, what is the point of giving them forms, basically? I thought it was Mega Evolutions, not form changing. Oh, and yes, I realized that its stats changes. Whoop-de-freaking do. Frankly, they pussied out, they wussed out and not given us actual evolutions. Guess what? Mawile is still shit if you don't have the Mawilite. I can hear people saying, like I said before, oh, will they be too OP? But what excuse is there to not make them evolutions? Well, Garchomp can evolve again. Why did you make a Megastone for Garchomp in the first place? Or Tyranitar, or all the fully evolved Pokemon? Fourth, the Mega Evolution Pokemons are shit. Why would you ever give Houndoom solar power? Oh yeah, let's increase its attack, despite the fact if you have it in the sunlight, fire attacks get stronger anyway, and have it lose health. Besides, if you have the Life Orb and Sunny Day out, it renders solar power useless. Oh, well, Pokemon like Heracross can get Skill Link. What attacks would Heracross use that were multi-attacks? I can understand uses like Cloyster and Cinccino, but they have it.
Minccino, I think he means Cinccino.
I meant to say Cinccino.
Anybody want a Mochaccino?
Next point. The stat changes are complete horseshit. Why on earth would you change Mega Aggron from a Rock and Steel to a normal Rock type? Or normal Steel, whatever. Why? That is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. 6. They didn't give a lot of Mega Evolutions for this generation. This is pathetic. It has another. This ties into another problem, which we'll probably discuss later. But for Christ's sakes, they could have done more with Mega Evolutions. Where's our Mega Glade? Where's other Mega Starters? Where's Mega Swampert or Sceptile, even? You can give Mega Blaziken, but not Swampert or frickin' Swampert? Give me a break!
You said Swampert twice.
Oh, sorry, I meant to say Swampert and Sceptile. Don't give me that shit saying Blaziken is one of the best. It's one of the Hoenn 3. You gave all the Kantos 3, which reminds me, why give Charizard 2 evolutions? Why give Mewtwo? Actually, another issue. Why give some of these Megastones to begin with? Tyranitar didn't need it. I know it's a branch up from an earlier point, but still. Why give it to that? Why give it to Gengar? Why give it to Aggron? Why give it to Manectric? Why give it to Houndoom? Why give it to Lucario? It doesn't really change. Why give it to Mewtwo, who has 2 of them?
I think another problem is that Mewtwo is already a legendary, and we already know that Mewtwo's in the OU tier.
Yes. And it's even more OP. It has, if those stats are to be believed, it has higher stats than Arceus. Bullshit. Okay, I'm done.
Well,
next.
Yeah, apparently we found our Spoonie, everybody!
Oh, God. Take a breath, wait, take a breath.
Oh, wait, no, I forgot this joke.
Oh,
what,
dear.
What are we going to get in Gen 7? Armor Evolutions?
Hang on, we're not going to talk about that yet. We're going to probably talk about that when we talk about expansion.
Speaking of which, let's move on to the next one.
Please,
before we talk about the future of the games.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Well, at least it's easier to try to get into contact with people now.
Yes.
The player search system.
You know, or as they like to call it, the PSS. Although they really should have given a different acronym for it.
Yeah, like PMS. See,
oh, Lord!
See how stupid that is? I know. But do you see how stupid that it is?
Yeah, I guess I would be.
Well,
let's move on to PSS.
Well, technically the player search system works like this. If you have an internet connection, by the way, you need to have an internet connection to use this feature.
Yeah, so your imaginary friend can't play with you for this game. 2, 1, don't care. Continue.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's alright. Basically, there are 3 levels of people that they go into these categories. Passerbys, which is basically anybody you pick up with on the internet.
Like
acquaintances. Oh, wait, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like hitchhikers. Go ahead.
Sorry, but this isn't a Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
I know, horrible pun. Blast me! Come on, blast me! Yeah!
Next is acquaintances.
Yeah. Basically, you can get acquaintances pretty easily if you use Wonder Trade or if you battle a passerby. But if you battle or trade with acquaintances, they can become your friends and you don't have to really use friend codes.
Thank God for that.
But, yeah, basically that's all it is. It's just to make getting into contact with people around the world more easily. Like, say, someone in America to South Korea. As an example.
Okay. Are you done?
Alright.
Well, that was only Pokemon search system. Next, Pokemon of Me, which,
Oh, I love Pokemon and me!
critical for Mega Evolution.
Not necessarily.
Well, from what I've noted.
Well, actually, I can get Mega Evolutions for a few of them.
Well, from what I've heard, that's how it kind of worked for me.
Kind of like how there were rumors of a Mega Delcatty.
Can we not bring that up in that context yet? We already have enough problems as is.
Okay, let's move on to Pokemon and Me.
Yep. That's one strike on the list. Okay. But basically, Pokemon and Me is kind of like you hanging out with your Pokemon. In the gameplay world, you know, not in battling online or anything like that, it can actually help increase your chances of getting critical hits, dodging attacks, stuff like that. There are 3 bars mostly. Appetite, affection, and I'm trying to remember what the one with the green note is.
Enjoyment?
Yeah, enjoyment. Enjoyment is probably the only one that you don't need to be in the actual me section to have go up.
No, that one, it basically involves you walking.
Yeah. And then finally, the one that competitive battlers seem to have fallen in love with, that super training.
By the way, yeah, I like Pokemon and Me and the player search system. You kind of bypassed that, but alright. Susan, your opinion on the two?
I love Pokemon and Me personally. Can watch you interact with your Pokemon at a whole new level. Feed, pet, play. It's a dream come true pretty much for me. I just love playing with my shiny Delcatty and my Lucario and all my other Pokemon to play with.
Nice. Yeah, though I've seen some videos of people doing really stupid things with the massage thing. Why?
Oh, yeah. I have no idea why.
Anyway.
Can we please try to stay within a PC limit? Oh wait, I think we already broke that with Wade's tirade.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, my neck extends. Nope.
I think sooner or later Wade's gonna become a giraffe.
Giraffe rig.
I mean a real giraffe. Giraffe rig's neck, not that big.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright, let's move on to Super Training.
Yeah, basically EV training made a lot easier, and as it's basically like mini games.
It's Mario Party.
Oh, it's the same thing, it's just depending on what stat, you know, speed, attack, defense, it varies.
Yeah.
But once you get past like the lower level ones, once you get to like the 3rd tier and you use it to get plus 12, I think the second levels are gonna be obsolete.
How am I supposed to massage a Gyarados?
You pet it on its head, I think.
You guys want to give your opinion on super training? Because I just try to give the details. I don't try to give an opinion.
I can't pet its head. Its head's on the second screen. Oh, my opinion on Super Training is, I like it.
You gotta feed your Pokemon first, then pet it.
Oh, okay.
I
That's only
think
big
we've
Pokemon.
lost these two.
Wait, what?
What?
You guys went
Oh.
way off topic. We were talking about
Yeah.
Super Train, and now you're talking about patting a Gyarados and Pokemon Amaze. Hello!
Okay, sorry.
I'm trying to call the bull. Dodo! And the bull just runs the other way.
Okay.
Let's give our opinion. Alright. I think super training is one of the best features in the game.
My opinion on it.
Easier than...
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. No, you were talking.
I was done. Go ahead.
Okay then, well, in my opinion, I think this is really useful, because if you want to get a certain Pokemon with a certain high stat, you want to train your Pokemon to get that certain high stat you want, this is really useful to use. I'm done.
Okay, I guess we'll move on to the next feature.
I think we kind of went through all the features.
Yeah, we did.
Now, I think we gotta talk about the system. Now, basically, what I mean is that the version update.
Oh,
3 minutes
yeah.
loading.
You want to talk about this one, dude? I think I've given enough of an explanation as is.
Okay. Basically, what happened is that when the game was released, Nintendo decided to, or Game Freak, sorry, whatever, decided to be idiots and release the game with two glitches. One in the Global Trade Station and the other in Lumio City that basically screws over the player if they were to save in Lumio City's outskirts. Nintendo, or Game Freak, whatever, what were you thinking? You goddamn idiots. Now they've recently released a patch to fix that issue.
Called version 1.1 on the
Right.
eShop. And don't worry, people, the patch is free. It's just that it depends on what version you get. It's not all in one. You gotta download two separate ones, depending on which version you have. So if you own both, make sure you have extra space on that SD card.
It's only about 2 megabytes, so it's not a big deal.
Yes, but if you're one of those people that has like a lot of games downloaded onto your 3DS,
Fair enough.
yeah. So, basically, that kind of brings up a pretty good question. If they can be able to download updates like that, wouldn't that mean they'd be able to add expansions of the game through the eShop?
Except here's the issue. Nintendo has stated, and this is something I feel like that no one's really mentioned. Nintendo has stated several times in an article that they will not be doing downloadable content. This was an update, so there's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're thinking that they're going to do extensions, think again. They're not doing it with these games. I mean, have you seen how well that's worked with Capcom? Alright, let's move on to the next subject.
Well, basically, the next subject, with the future of the series, would be a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Let's see. In my personal opinion, I think Pokemon has pretty much hit their heyday with this generation. I don't think they can really improve on anything further, aside from fixing some of their glitches and, making actual evolutions. I think they've hit their heyday. I don't see what they could do to improve it, but I could be wrong.
Well, the reason I bring up the expansion to the X and Y games is because of a thing in the guide saying that there are berries that you can't find in any other region, in Kalos specifically. Not to mention, it also mentions about that backpacker that appears in certain hotels that says you'll be able to see this region soon. And it's not Unova or Johto, because any Pokemon that you try to transfer via the Pokebank, it won't allow you to transfer items.
Then again, the Pokemon Bank will be available till next month. So.
Well, but that means if you try to transfer your Pokemon over, they're not going to be able to take their items with them. So that's why I bring up the DLC content.
Fair enough, but Nintendo has stated themselves they're not going to do it.
Well, people can state things, but people always change their minds, so
Fair enough.
let's wait and see what the future holds. Generation 7, or if it's going to be Pokemon Z, or if we're going to get an X2, Y2, who knows?
If anything, I think we're going to get what happened with the last generation with a sequel to these games, just with expansions to it.
Also, X squared and Y squared.
Possibly.
And you know what I did, math joke.
Yes, it did. Yes, I know.
Lol.
Though they call the third game cubed.
Well, cubed is if there were like 3 games, or if you're going by a second sequel.
Actually, wouldn't it make more sense to call the third game in the series Pokemon X Cubed?
Well, the curious thing is, they only released 69 new Pokemon this generation.
That is just pathetic.
I know.
Let's talk about that.
So we didn't get a lot of Pokemon this time.
I still think it's going to be an expansion thing, but again, everybody's going to bring up. But I mean, even sources like Maryland have stated this, that it could be DLC. It might be an expansive region.
Yeah.
It just might not be within Kalos, but a region probably bordering Kalos.
Maybe.
Because we could get what happened in Johto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was only 69 Pokemon released.
That is correct.
Plus some myths about new legendaries. Thanks a lot, Susan.
Then again, that's Nintendo's fault. If that was the case, then that is Nintendo's fault for not releasing them in the first place. Don't give me that.
Hey, I found them on Facebook. I wasn't the one who found. I was the one who. I just found it from somebody else on Facebook.
We're probably gonna have a repeat of Keldeo, Meloetta, and Genesect again.
Well, I don't know about that. We got the 2 Mega Evolutions.
We're rumored. Not believed to be true yet.
Yes, I know. I guess I'll talk about
Let's try to stick with the facts, not rumors.
Very well.
True.
In my personal opinion, I think the roster is just disappointing. I don't know what reason in the world they had for doing that, for only giving us 69 Pokemon this generation. There's no point to it. Because, yeah, you have 69 Pokemon, but with the fact that the Pokemon Bank will not be released till December, in other words, we have to wait 2 months, and the fact that there were so little Pokemon you could discover this generation that weren't solely in the Kalos Pokedex, it was very disappointing. I expected much, much better. And even if you count the Mega Evolutions, that's still the shortest roster out of any Pokemon game. Even if those are confirmed, it would be around 90. Which is still worse than Gen 2's roster. So this is completely disappointing. There's no excuse, none whatsoever, for having such a pathetically short roster. Alright. I'm done.
Well, the game's popularity sure seems to bring up a lot of intrigue, because a lot of people are now doing walkthroughs, and even some people are now doing Nuzlocke challenges.
Like Munching Orange.
There are a lot of other people that are doing walkthroughs, a lot of greatly known people like Maryland and Giancarlo Party Mango 11, even to some Wi-Fi paddlers like Shofu.
And Jaywitz recently started.
Oh yeah, Jaywitz too.
As well as Dookie Shed.
Yeah, a lot of people. Should we tell them what versions we have?
Sure.
Well, I have X.
Same here. So I was the first one to get it in this group. Out of the 3 of us, I was the first one to get it on opening day.
Well, via Nintendo eShop.
I went to the mall and got mine the first day. And I got the poster.
Nice. So for me, I got it 2 a.m. on that day. So I trumped.
Yeah, I got mine on the first day as well, but remember, we all live in different time zones, so basically I was the last to get mine,
Yeah.
first day-wise. I pre-ordered both X and Y, but Y is basically my primary game. So out of the main group that plays these games, I'm the only one that plays Y.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's another friend of ours that does it, but he's not in the call.
Well, I haven't even touched X yet. I'm too busy raising my team. I don't plan on Wi-Fi battling, but, you know, everybody has a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess there's an expansion on this. What are your favorite Pokemon from the Cal Sticks this generation that were introduced? I know we talked about the roster, but might as well tell them our favorites.
Ooh.
Who wants to go first?
How about Light?
Okay, go ahead, Light.
Well, to be honest, when I first started this game, the original plan for me was to actually do this like a chest spin only run.
You gotta give this guy credit. He managed to hold that promise for 36 levels. Only until level 37, he broke it.
Because I got too curious about what the final stage of chest spin looked like. I just got too curious.
No, you gotta give him credit for at least attempting this.
4 gems.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite Pokemon from this Light?
Well, not counting any old Pokemon from old generations, Mega Absol's awesome.
Okay.
I could say that's my favorite Mega Evolution.
Fair enough.
But if I had to pick my favorite Pokemon from X and Y in only Generation 6, I actually will have to go with Aegislash.
Nice.
I
Why?
find the stance change between offense and defense takes a lot of strategic thinking and timing. I mean, King Shield brings out the priority basis, but if you're too slow for an opponent's move and you're caught off guard, you could be doomed. So I find the strategy with Aegislash to be very, very impressive, and it keeps the mind rolling.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Oh, maybe we should also bring up Most Hated.
Yeah. Let's go with Light's Most Hated, because I still gotta think of
Most Hated for this. I hate Palucha!
Why?
Oh my god, early game, and ever I ran into that thing, my team would get destroyed.
Lucha's Beast.
Yes, and may I remind you, I did the majority of the game without using an experience share.
Give him credit for that, too.
Oh, dang it. Palucha's strong, but, I mean, oh my god, give me a break! I mean, whenever I see that thing, the Mucha Lucha thing, and oh, I hated that show! Dear Lord! Okay, before you go, I need to get a drink.
Okay.
Okay. I think my face is now red as a piece. Oh, jeez, too much anger. Ouch. Oh.
Okay, Wave, go ahead.
Alright. This is a tough one. I like a lot of these Pokemon, despite its short roster. Shit. I guess for me I have... Okay. Disregarding starters, Hermit. These are so many... Okay. For me, I got a three-way tie between Gurgeist, Goodra, and... Let's see, okay. Go-Goat.
Well, I can...
Why those three?
Gurgeist is so adorable. And
It's
the first
adorable?
Ghost next to Trevenant. It's adorable.
Well, basically, it does fit the mood week. Halloween just passed by recently.
Yeah. Okay. Kudra. It looks so cute, and it's a friggin' powerhouse.
Oh, jeez. The special defense, oh, lord.
And Go-Go, Sap Sipper, and it's a very powerful Pokemon. Pavilion's also really good, but it's very hard for this. Most hated? I know I'm gonna get shit for this, but the Aegislash line. Why?
Why?
Because disregarding that it basically follows the Magnemite line, just with a couple of changes, that thing constantly pissed me off. Stance changed. If you fought Maelstrom in the Elite Four, and you used a fire type, like the Blaziken...
Maelstrom? I thought his name was Wigstrom.
Whatever.
Maelstrom? I think that's an entirely different word, and Maelstrom is the name of a combat robot in Europe.
Well, Wickstrom is an annoying person when he uses Aegislash because of King Shield. That thing constantly pissed me off. And I guess for Mega Evolutions, it's Mega Gardevoir. Hey, Gardevoir, maybe you should... Hey, Mega Gardevoir, it's nice to see you can mate with Gallade, but don't show it off, you piece of shit. And that thing's supposed to be male. I'm done. Susan?
Okay, well, let's see. My favorite has to be the Vatican line. It's so cute, it's a little fox. I had a liking to the... Like, Vatican was my starter I chose from the beginning, and I really enjoy it. My favorite Mega Evolution? Lucario, obviously. I love Lucarios, they're my favorites. And, as for head, that's kind of hard to say since I really don't hate most Pokemon. I guess one I'd hate probably, like I said, I don't really have any hated ones, to be honest. Sorry.
Oh, you don't need to answer that if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
For those of you wondering, yes, we have actually tested the multi-battle mechanic.
Yes, we have.
About 3 to 4 times, actually.
And I think we're tied.
Something like that, yeah.
No, wait, 1, 2...
I think we are
3,
kind of
4,
tied.
5. It was... No, wait, 6!
Oh, 6.
Yeah.
If you're wondering, it was the 3 of us that battled along with a fellow member of our group, Trico 101 Piplup. She has X, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
She joined us in our multi-battles.
Although her attitude could use a little bit of improvement, but that's off topic.
Mainly with her saying that she's an idiot, but which she isn't.
Yeah, you always want to try to pick a friend back up. But, when it just kind of... Let's save that for another time. And the results? We stayed mostly keeping it at level 50.
Yeah.
Because some of us like to train our starter Pokemons to high levels and not focus a lot on the others.
Kind of reminds us of those early speed runs.
Oh, yeah.
If you've been to my channel, I think you know the ones where we would do that. Speaking of which, I gotta finish the Gen 1 speed run and upload it. Never mind.
That one was already finished. We're not gonna spoil anything, but I can definitely say it's a surprise.
I also had Rage in the final part, but that's not the point.
Oh, trust me. At least you cover for my Rage in the first part.
Right.
Yeah. And again, I do apologize for my immaturity during that, but when you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, you're gonna have to vent.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody cares.
Let's continue.
If we're going to go by rankings for us, I think so far Susan would probably be number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Wave would probably be number 2. I'd be number 3, and Tree would probably be number 4. What do you guys think? Do you think that should be switched around, or do you think that's accurate?
I guess it kind of fits. I don't know. It's kind of all over the place. It's all over the place.
Yeah, it just depends on what happens. I think when I got Eye to Slash finally, the tables have turned.
Do you remember how, then again, you used a freaking Evital in some of your earlier matches, so, yeah.
Hey, you're the one that used Xyander, and may I remind Susan about Xerneas. So we're all 3 of us are guilty.
Yeah, because I got that thing to counter your freaking Evital.
Yes, and now I have Eye to Slash because of those complaints.
Right. Anyway, okay, we got anything else?
Overall, I think if you're going to get X and Y, just make sure you get the update.
Yeah. Why don't we talk about some of the game mysteries?
Mysteries?
I don't really have an opinion on them.
You know, like the ghost girl. Ghost thing.
Oh yeah, in Lumio City. I don't really care about that.
Ghost?
Okay then.
I don't even know about that.
Yeah.
I try to stick to facts, not rumors.
Well, this is real. I actually saw this.
It's actually in the game, but it's not really that interesting.
Okay, could you explain it?
It's basically a hex maniac in Lumio City that appears and says you're not the one. It's a ghost. That's it. Larg.
Kind of reminds me of those people who always would get, you know, quote unquote possessed in Lavender Tower.
Yes. How many Lavender Town creepypastas were there made? Too many to count. Alright, I guess we'll just go to our overall results.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, who wants to start?
Susan should start. She's the host.
Okay.
Okay, in my opinion, X and Y is a pretty good game, pretty good, development. It's a pretty good game overall. Game Freak and Nintendo have really done some good stuff with this game, including the features of customizing your trainer. That I find to be a really good change.
Yeah, but it really wasn't worth much bringing up in the podcast, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying it's good, though.
Fair enough. Continue.
Sure enough, I just wish they could have more the chance to rematch trainers they've already battled. That I would have liked to see. Like I said, good new Pokemon, good storyline, trainer customization, everything about it's just pretty good overall. I give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay, Light, you want to go next, or do you want me to?
Why don't I go next?
Okay.
X and Y. Well, there are positives and there are negatives. Really, I find it to be in between. Really, if you don't stick into in between and try to balance out the positives and negatives, you're gonna give yourself a headache. In Lumio City, if you're in there and you're on the roller skates, you're gonna get a bit of a headache, especially if you're gonna get blocked off early on in the game, but that's not much of a game flaw as much as just a part of the story. Yeah. The Mega Evolutions, it could have been done better, I think. I mean, have a few more, for crying out loud. It would be nice to see more Pokemon added onto the list, but I don't know what the limitation is. Maybe there's a purpose for it. Maybe there's something else. I don't know. We'll have to see for the future. Overall, I'll have to give this game an 8.76.
Okay, and I'll close it off. I think X and Y was very disappointing compared to Generation 5. In fact, I'd probably compare it to the likes of Generation 3 and 1 if you saw my top 5 Pokegens list. If anything, I put it on at number 3. My issue with the generation as a whole is not as a generation, sorry, as the game. I'm judging it too early. My issue with the game as a whole, though, is that Hey, Tree. For those who are watching our podcast, Tree just showed up. Tree 101 just showed up as a guest. Anyway, continuing on.
Yeah, so staying up for now.
Continuing on, my point. The story, while decent, it does have a lot of issues with it. Mega Evolutions, they're form changes. They're not Mega Evolutions. Don't give me that shit. That's bullshit. What else? I want to keep this short. The fact they didn't introduce so many Pokemon in this generation was also very disappointing. Team Flare was complete shit. The only likable character I liked in that was Lysander. There's no point for the bike system anymore, because we have the rollerblades, which are faster. Especially with the new tricks you can learn with it. And frankly, another issue is the EXP, what they've done with it. Sure, it's nice to have the EXP share, but new Pokemon, it makes it a lot harder for newer Pokemon, unless you turn off the EXP share and have Lucky Egg, it makes it a lot harder for it to grow. While I do like super training, it becomes pointless if you're left-handed. Because it's soccer all the time.
You want to tell them I'm left-handed, so...
Well, you just said it, so... Another, I think, is that super training is also very repetitive. It's just soccer. They could have done different types of mini-games with it, instead of just changing the mascot. What else? Okay. Well, disregarding the outside factors, like Nintendo throwing a bitch fit when their games got released early, even though it's not a big deal, because, frankly, that's their fault. I mean, it's like the people complaining at Nintendo for releasing all the spoilers too early when it was their fault for looking it up. Anyway, back to the game. Aside from that, sure, the game's long, but it's also very disappointing, and the money grinding is absolute horseshit. You can barely get enough money in the game to afford things. I'm pretty sure a lot of us got pissed if you went to the boutique center finally and found out all that shit was super expensive.
$100,000
just for a shirt. And while I do like the trainer customization, it leaves a lot to be desired. It's so limited, and frankly, I find it weird that the women get a lot more customization, like the ability to wear skirts or something, and yet we can't get the ability to wear shorts. We have to wear pants, long jeans. And we can't even take off the glasses, which is retarded. Or, not the glasses, but we're missing
the hat.
Oh, the hat accessory, yeah, I have, like, that one in my character, it's like a little black feather.
We can't even take off the hat, that's ridiculous. It's like, yeah, the story just leaves a lot to be desired. Sure, AZ is good, but it's not really worth it. Elite Four leaves a lot to be desired, the Mega Evolutions were crap. I like the fairy typing, but some of the changes were kind of pointless. Since when was Probopass a Rock and Steel before this generation? I don't think it was.
It never was.
Okay. And Horde battles were nice. We didn't cover them for a point, but they're okay.
Oh, the Matsuri method.
And yeah, and the Matsuri. And oh god, the metagame is one of the worst in the generation so far. There's little to do once you've beaten it. I'm done.
Well,
okay.
Yeah. Unless you have like a regular Nintendo 3DS for the Super Training and you're left-handed. Note, here's a note for you. Learn how to use the analog stick with your pinky finger.
Yeah.
Okay. So, does anybody else have anything to add before we end it off?
Nope.
I think we've finally come to a close. And if you guys want to have us do more podcasts about, different subjects, please put your ideas down in the comments or send ideas via PM. We would be glad to hear you out.
Yeah, because it's either this or doing more speedruns.
Oh, trust me, we're not doing a speedrun again. We are never doing a speedrun again.
Okay, I guess that pretty much does it all.
Give her goodbyes.
Okay, so this has been Susan Lucario fan.
Give her a wave.
liked.
And of course, and for Trigo 101 Pebble for making a little cameo. Thanks for watching!